Snark Squad, babes, we love you. Thank you for being here. May love this chaotic never, actually find you, babes.
Truly, lock your doors, protect your peace, and literally never trust a man in a neon swim trunk who says he just doesn't care.
Never, never, ever. So it's Tuesday evening, and honestly, we are living our European dreams right now through reality TV.
I mean, it is the only way to live them right now. Let's be so real. The air is crisp, the delusion is incredibly high, and the drama is, piping hot.
Babes, this villa is fucking amazing. We absolutely cannot. I am fully transported.
Okay, wait. The real estate is gorgeous. I will give you that.
I am there. I am sitting on that balcony.
I knew you are, but we have to look at the absolute psychological absurdity of the setup here.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a villa. It's literally a winter wonderland.
It's chic.
It is a snow-capped chalet.
Yeah.
And they are marketing this as a beach show. The sheer cognitive dissonance of putting these incredibly vain, sun-obsessed people in a freezing alpine environment.
I know.
It's adding a whole new layer to the psychological warfare. You can literally see their brains short-circuiting when they walk outside in 3 feet of powder wearing, a string bikini.
But I don't even care about the geography or the frostbite. It's gorgeous. It's giving Aspen. It's giving St. Moritz. It's giving, generational wealth mixed with complete emotional bankruptcy.
Honestly, an iconic aesthetic.
Oh, right. But wait, before we even get into the chalet chaos, we need to say something.
Oh, we absolutely do. It is time.
Cutwater, if you are listening, babes, get in contact with us.
Please. The DMs are wide open. The email is literally sitting right there in the bio.
Yeah.
We are so ready to talk business.
Because these drinks are amazing, and we are still looking for a podcast sponsor. Shoot your shot.
We're literally sitting here right now, sipping on these little cans of heaven, just letting the Tuesday evening delusion completely wash over us.
Exactly. It takes the edge off watching a man ruin his own life on national television. So Cutwater, call us. Now let's be honest with each other and with the Snark Squad.
Always. Radical honesty is the only policy here.
We know we are not going to be as hot as these people by summer.
Yeah, let's firmly manage those expectations right now. We are not arriving on a speedboat in a perfectly tied halter top with a flawless blowout anytime soon.
Tragic but true.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
And it did not stop at our dock.
But we have been consistent, Pilates, for the past 3 weeks.
Okay, wait, let's pause for a massive spiral right here. Because the word consistent is doing an incredible amount of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Babes, I am so proud of us. 3 weeks. That is basically a fundamental lifestyle change at this point.
Is it, though?
I am basically Gwyneth Paltrow. I bought the little grip socks. I bought the matching set in sage green. I am breathing deeply into the back and sides of my ribs.
You bought 4 pairs of $30 grip socks.
They're an investment.
And we went to a class where we laid on a reformer machine for 45 minutes. And I'm pretty sure I entered a literal dissociative state during the cool-down stretching phase.
It still counts. Physical presence counts. The delusion versus reality of our fitness journey right now is so deeply relatable, though. I walk out of that studio, the sun hits my face, and I feel like I am ready to step onto the beaches of Marbella and absolutely ruin a man's life.
Right. And the reality.
The reality is my core is shaking so badly from doing tiny little micro movements that I can barely press the gas pedal to drive my car out of the parking lot.
My commitment level to this entire endeavor is purely based on whether or not we are getting iced coffee immediately after.
That is the reward system.
If the iced coffee reward is removed, my physical fitness journey ends that very second. But I will acknowledge the effort. We showed up. We did the little leg circles.
With the heavy springs.
Yeah, we suffered under the fluorescent lights while an instructor with 0 body fat yelled at us to engage our pelvic floors. It's a small win, but in this economy, we will take it.
It is a massive win. I am claiming it. By June, I'm telling you, we are going to have that reality TV posture. Shoulders back, utter disdain for everyone around us.
God will.
But speaking of driving, this morning, one of us was driving to work and heard something. Craigslist.
Yes, and I have not known peace since.
And babes, can we stop for a single second? Who is still using Craigslist?
This is the central mystery of our time.
We thought it died with the Craigslist killer, honestly.
Literally. I heard the word Craigslist spoken aloud in the year 2026, and my brain immediately went into fight or flight mode.
Same.
I haven't thought about that chaotic, unmoderated interface since 2013.
Oh.
Who is logging on to a raw HTML text document to do business in the modern era? We have apps now.
What are they even doing on there? Are people still selling things? Is it just feet pics? Criminal roommates looking for victims?
Probably all of the above.
Black market couches. Like, imagine actually buying a couch off Craigslist right now. You are absolutely bringing home a cursed object filled with dark secrets and possibly bed bugs.
It's definitely a thriving black market for beige velvet sectionals that have seen terrible things. And stolen bicycles.
It's so scary.
I am fully convinced, like completely steadfast in my belief, that anyone who actively uses Craigslist today falls into one of two categories.
Wait, what are they?
They are either an undercover FBI agent running a sting operation, or someone who owns an exotic pet snake and needs to buy bulk frozen mice from a guy named Pod who lives in a basement.
Oh my God. Todd in the basement.
There's literally no in-between demographic.
It's terrifying, and it got us talking in the group chat today, and we realized we both actually have deeply repressed Craigslist trauma.
Oh, I have distinct, vivid, night terror-inducing trauma.
You have to tell the Snark Squad, because yours is actually unhinged. It is a true crime podcast waiting to happen.
Okay, picture this. It's years ago. I am young, I am incredibly broke, and I desperately need a roommate to afford my half-basement apartment.
The classic setup for a horror movie.
Right. I put it out on Craigslist because that's what you did before we all realized stranger danger was a very real thing. So this guy responds. He seems totally normal via email. Good grammar, polite.
They always do.
Exactly. He comes over to view the apartment. He walks in, takes a slow look around the living room, nods, and says, "Great space." Just checking, though, are the walls soundproof? Because my taxidermy process can get a little resonant.
No, I am physically repulsed.
Resonant. Who uses the word resonant in relation to dead animals? What does that even mean?
Does the stuffing process echo? I can't.
I literally froze in place. I think my soul actively left my body and hovered near the ceiling fan. I stammered, told him someone else just put down a deposit 5 minutes ago via a very aggressive wire transfer, and practically shoved him out the door.
You had to.
I deleted the entire post and just ate the cost of double rent for 3 months because I was convinced he was going to come back in the night and stuff me like a mallard duck.
I am screaming. See, that is a legitimate true crime origin story. You survived a serial killer.
I really did.
My story is, well, I think it was like a girl shopping or something. I honestly can't remember the exact item.
You literally don't even remember your own trauma. You are the worst eyewitness of all time.
No, I do. The vibe was traumatic. Wait, I was trying to buy this designer bag. A knockoff, obviously. I was broke. Or maybe it was a lamp.
The lamp.
It was a lamp that looked like a bag. Let's go with lamp.
Oh.
Anyway, I agreed to meet this girl in a Target parking lot at dusk, which is already mistake number one.
Huge mistake.
And she pulls up in this beat-up silver minivan, and she rolls down the window slowly, and she just stares at me, like completely unblinking, no expression,
Creepy.
for a solid 2 minutes of dead silence. And then she slowly hands me this lamp out the window, and she whispers, "Don't turn it on after midnight." And then she just peeled out of the parking lot.
That is the messiest, most half-remembered urban legend I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Was it a lamp or a bag? You don't even know what you bought.
It was terrifying, okay? I don't remember the material details because my brain blocked it out to protect me, but the vibe was purely sinister. I threw whatever object it was directly into the dumpster behind a Wendy's on the way home.
You definitely bought a cursed object and handled it very poorly.
I was not risking a gremlin situation in my bedroom. Anyway, we survived our respective Craigslist horrors. We are here. We are safe.
For now.
And apes. For anyone watching us on video right now, yes, we are wearing beige sweaters.
Yes, we absolutely are. Chunky, oversized, deeply beige sweaters.
Because they remind us of potatoes.
Exactly. Starchy, reliable, comforting potatoes.
And for some inexplicable reason, potatoes remind us of Europe.
They just do.
Don't question it. Just accept it as our truth.
I am deeply, deeply confused by this logic. Honestly, what part of a tuber root vegetable screams European chalet luxury?
Everything about it.
When you think of St. Tropez and the Swiss Alps, do you immediately think of an Idaho russet?
Think about it. French fries, French, potatoes, Europe. Boom, fashion.
The delusion is so incredibly comforting to me at this point that I am just going with it. I am embracing my inner root vegetable. I am a chic, beige, European potato observing the downfall of humanity.
It's Tuesday evening. We are drinking Cutwater. We are wearing our potato sweaters, and we are ready to dive headfirst into the absolute unfiltered carnage that is Celebrity X on the Beach, Series 4, Episode 3.
Let's get into the meat of this, because I have copious notes. I have psychological evaluations grafted. I have behavioral patterns mapped out.
Snark Squad, this recap is going to take a minute because there's so much to unpack, and we cannot gloss over a single micro-expression. The theme of this episode was ominously titled, Takes Two to Tango.
A very fitting title.
Setting the scene here is crucial to understanding the madness. We are back at the Chalet Chaos.
The Chalet of Doom. The Alpine Prison.
It's supposed to be X on the beach. The franchise relies on sun, sand, and ocean breezes to make the toxicity look glamorous, but they are literally in a winter wonderland. It is a chalet, there is snow, there are icicles.
And these people are walking around indoors in tiny string bikinis and board shorts.
It's so unhinged.
Let's examine this from an environmental psychology standpoint. The visual of someone wearing a neon thong bikini while standing next to a roaring fireplace, with a window showing 3 feet of powder snow right behind them, is jarring.
Truly jarring.
It is deeply, fundamentally unsettling. It is high camp, yes, but it is also a sign of profound mental unraveling. They are trapped indoors. You cannot go for a dramatic walk on the beach to blow off steam.
Nope, you'd freeze.
You are locked in a wooden box with your exes. The cabin fever is accelerating the drama by at least 300%. The pressure cooker environment is entirely responsible for how fast these people are losing their minds.
It is a total pressure cooker. And then, to make the cabin fever worse, we have the tablet of terror.
Ugh, that tablet.
They think they are getting a nice, peaceful little boat party, a little field trip, a break from the wooden walls of the chalet, and boom, the tablet chimes in.
That sound, that specific little pinging notification sound. Let's talk about Pavlovian conditioning for a second. That sound is a literal trigger for absolute dread.
It sends shivers down my spine.
The producers have conditioned these people perfectly. You see the color instantly drain from their perfectly tanned faces the second it rings. They know exactly what it means. It's never just a party. It's an ambush disguised as a fun activity.
It is an absolute ambush. And before we even get to the boat party trauma, we have to talk about the main event of the chalet drama. Freddy, Izzy, and the absolute, blatant, undeniable disrespect.
Let's break this situation down frame by frame, because this was a masterclass in how to react to disrespect and then immediately, painfully, how not to react.
So the incident happens. Freddy is right there in the room. He visibly, with his own 2 eyes, sees Izzy kissing someone else.
Visibly.
He is watching his own romantic demise happen in real time.
He had front row, VIP tickets to his own mugging.
And, babes, I have to say my initial emotional reaction to this moment was pure, unadulterated pride. I was literally standing up in my living room. I was pointing at the screen. I was cheering for this man.
He handled the initial shock well.
Because he actually shut it down, initially. He walked right over, he saw the blatant disrespect, and he didn't just play it off like the other guys do.
You're right, he didn't do the typical reality TV guy routine where they puff out their chest, pretend they don't care, or try to laugh it off with the boys to save face.
Exactly. He had actual self-respect. He looked at her and basically said, I am visibly seeing you disrespect me to my face, and I am not okay with it.
A healthy boundary.
And I love, love, love that he didn't let the classic, it's just a game or it's just a dating show excuse slide for a single second. Because people on these shows love to use that. They do something incredibly hurtful and then say, oh, well, the environment, the rules of the show. No, that is a cop-out.
It's the ultimate reality TV defense mechanism. It's just a game. Defense is the coward's way of avoiding any accountability for actively hurting someone's feelings. It doesn't matter if you're on a show. If you are building a genuine connection with someone, leaning over and kissing someone else right in front of them is a choice. You made a conscious choice to inflict pain. And Freddy calling it out directly without yelling or breaking things was incredibly refreshing to watch.
It was so refreshing. I was like, yes, finally, a man who knows his worth. Put up those boundaries, King.
Then the inevitable collapse.
He went right back to her, like a moth to a toxic flame. Babes, I was screaming at the television. I had my hands in my hair. Why did you fold so fast?
Okay, let's get analytical here, because Freddy is a fascinating case study in attachment theory. He wears his heart so firmly on his sleeve.
Yeah.
It's practically tattooed there.
He really does.
And in many ways, yes, that shows a lot of emotional maturity and vulnerability. He isn't playing the toxic, guarded, defensive mind games that we usually see from men in these hyper-masculine environments. He likes her. He admits he likes her out loud. He gets his feelings hurt. And he shows that he's hurt.
He literally shed actual physical tears over Izzy after knowing her for basically 48 hours. The timeline is insane.
And that is exactly where the supposed emotional maturity crosses a very clear boundary into absolute madness.
Yeah.
I was watching him cry, wiping away these genuine tears, and all I could think about was Curtis and Millie on Love Island All-Stars.
Oh my God, yes, the exact same energy, the exact same rapid onset emotional devastation.
It's the exact same playbook of emotional volatility. He is moving exactly like Curtis did. You have known this woman for the time it takes an Amazon package to be delivered with Prime shipping. How are your tear ducts producing actual salty fluid over this connection?
I mean, it defies logic.
It really does.
No, listen, I'm going to defend him for a second. It's the cabin fever. It has to be. They are locked in a snow globe with an open bar and all of their toxic exes roaming the halls. Time moves differently in the reality TV time-space continuum.
That's fair.
One day in that chalet equals 6 months in the real world. His nervous system is just fried.
I will push back on that slightly. Yes, the environment is intense. You are stripped of your phone, your friends, your routine, your external distractions. All you have is the person sitting next to you on the velvet sofa. So, of course, you latch on.
Exactly. It's a trauma response.
But crying on day 2 isn't just cabin fever. It shows a severe lack of emotional regulation. If you are crumbling that quickly, you are deeply codependent. However, from a purely strategic standpoint, his breakdown did work in a very sick, twisted way.
It did. It worked perfectly because Izzy suddenly feels terrible. She watches him cry. She realizes she messed up badly, which then makes her realize, wait a minute, I actually do have strong feelings for Freddy. The tears locked her in.
It's classic push-pull dynamics, but inverted. Usually the woman pushes for commitment and the man pulls away. Here, she pushes the boundary by kissing someone else. He actually reacts with genuine, devastating pain instead of toxic, macho anger. And suddenly she's struck by the realization that his vulnerability is a rare commodity.
She realizes she actually likes the guy who cares enough to cry, not the guys playing the cool guy game.
Which brings us directly to the absolute menace of the episode. The villain of the chalet, Rogan.
Oh, Rogan. A walking, talking parade of red flags wrapped in a massive, fragile ego trip.
The Icky behavior was completely off the charts this week. It was hard to watch.
He literally comes into the room, clearly sees Freddy sitting there looking sad, and immediately starts trying to wind him up. He starts loudly bragging about his really good day with Izzy.
It was so transparently manipulative, it was almost pathetic. He wasn't even talking to Izzy. He was talking at Freddy, using Izzy as a literal prop to establish dominance.
Babes, I wanted to throw my entire Cutwater can right at my flat screen. He doesn't even want Izzy. He doesn't care about her personality, her thoughts, or her feelings. He is purely using her as a trophy to boost his own inflated ego.
Exactly. Let's dig into the psychology of this, because this is a very specific, deeply ingrained type of toxic masculinity. Rogan is in a completely one-sided competition with Freddy. Freddy is just existing, crying in his beige sweater, having normal human feelings. And Rogan is treating the whole romantic scenario like a blood sport. He wants to win Izzy for the sole purpose of proving he can take her away from Freddy.
It's an exercise in power.
It has absolutely nothing to do with genuine connection.
Yeah.
It is pure, unadulterated ego.
He is acting like a literal man-child on a playground who only wants a toy because another kid is holding it. It is so deeply embarrassing to watch a fully grown adult man behave this way on international television, but the payoff,
Oh, the pain.
the absolute best part of the entire episode is the rejection.
It was poetry in motion. It was cinema.
Rogan gets entirely, completely, unequivocally pied by Izzy. To his face, she flat out rejects him, and he gets so unbelievably salty.
His bruised ego simply could not process the data. The macho mask completely slipped off his face. When a man like Rogan, who bases his entire self-worth on his ability to attract women, gets rejected, the nice guy act immediately evaporates.
And the defensive, salty, degrading comments come out to play. He literally stands there and claims to the cameras, oh, she'll get bored of him. Babes! The coping mechanism, the absolute projection happening in real time.
It's the only way his brain can process the concept of losing. His internal monologue is essentially, I didn't lose because of my terrible personality or my transparent manipulation. I lost because she's flawed and she's going to get bored of him anyway.
It completely removes all personal accountability.
But what he says next is where things get genuinely dark, and we need to unpack this delusion heavily.
Yes, the manosphere delusion. We have to talk about this.
So Rogan literally says out loud with his full chest on camera, girls like it when you don't care.
It makes my skin crawl. It is so gross.
And we have to pause and analyze this rhetoric. Because I was watching a documentary recently completely separate from the show about the manosphere and these online pickup artists, specifically guys like Myron who run these massive
Right,
podcasts.
the alpha male podcast.
Exactly. Now, Snark Squad, listen closely. We are absolutely not taking a political side on the existence of these documentaries or getting into the politics of it. We are strictly, impartially observing a behavioral match.
Just reporting the facts.
And what I've observed is that Rogan's mindset mirrors these controversial manosphere claims perfectly. It's the exact same talking points. It's this core foundational belief that men somehow know the inner workings of women better than women know themselves.
It is wild. The sheer unmitigated audacity to stand there as a man and confidently declare to the world what girls like, literally 30 seconds after a girl explicitly looked you in the eye and told you she didn't like you. Make it make logical sense.
It doesn't make sense because it's an echo chamber of terrible recycled advice. The idea that treating them mean keeps them keen, or that displaying utter sociopathic apathy makes you desirable, is a toxic fallacy.
It's so outdated.
And the hypocrisy of it is staggering. If you truly don't care, Rogan, why are you on a reality TV show designed to find love and win people back? If you don't care, why are you so visibly salty and defensive that you got rejected?
Exactly. You care. You care so much it's actually pathetic. The veins in your neck are popping out because you care so much. And it just proves that this whole bad boy who doesn't care routine is nothing but a flimsy shield to protect massive, gaping insecurities.
And Izzy, bless her, saw right through the shield.
Thank God she did. She dodged a massive bullet. But just when we think the chalet is safe and we can all take a collective breath, the tablet of terror strikes.
It never lets them rest.
It summons them to the boat party, and we get the celebrity surprise, the return of Curtis.
I need to physically take a deep breath before we even attempt to discuss this.
Babes, I am exhausted. We are all exhausted. The entire Snark squad is experiencing collective fatigue.
The entrance alone was a lot. Arriving at the boat party on a secondary vessel, waving like he is the literal savior of the reality TV franchise.
I am so fundamentally tired of seeing him on my screen. He is everywhere. He is ubiquitous. Can this be the one single show in the reality TV universe where he does not dance? I am begging the producers. I am on my knees, begging the universe.
The universe was decidedly not listening to you on Tuesday evening. Because, inevitably, like a cursed clockwork mechanism, they asked him to dance.
The secondhand embarrassment, it was visceral. I had to watch the screen through the cracks in my fingers. I felt physical pain in my chest watching him do those little rigid hip thrusts on a moving aquatic vessel.
Let's analyze why this happens. The forced performance of it all is staggering. It's an inescapable reality TV trope at this point. Whenever Curtis enters a room, someone in the cast is clearly contractually obligated by production to ask him to do a salsa routine.
They have to be.
And he will do it every single time. With a completely straight face, entirely devoid of any natural rhythm suited for a daytime boat party, he will dance. It completely derailed the entire energy of the group.
It was a public hazard. The deck was slippery. Someone could have easily fallen overboard while trying to avoid his jazz hands. But then, after the dancing trauma, production actually makes a good call. They give the girls the power to control date night, which, honestly, we love.
Yes, shifting the power dynamic from the men to the women was a very smart structural move by the producers to keep the men on their toes.
And Curtis, in all his dancing glory, chooses Izzy for the date. Or rather, Izzy is put in a horrible position where she has to deal with Curtis probing her on this date.
It was a fascinating interaction to watch from a communication standpoint, because Izzy is navigating an absolute minefield here. Think about her timeline. She just barely solidified things with Freddy after making him cry. She just formally rejected Rogan's toxic advances. And now Curtis is sitting across from her, probing her boundaries to see if there's a crack.
She was so incredibly careful with her wording. It was like watching a seasoned politician dodge a scandal question at a press conference. She looks at him and tells that she is open because it's, quote-unquote, too early to close off in the villa.
Right, playing the game.
But her body language, her tone of voice, the sheer lack of eye contact, everything about her physical being was screaming, I am completely, entirely closed off. Please do not perceive me in a romantic way whatsoever.
She was brilliantly signaling a hard, definitive no while using the placating vocabulary of a maybe. And the reason she has to do this is because of the environment. In these shows, if you shut a new arrival down completely and rudely on night one, You instantly become a target for drama and producer manipulation.
You become the villain.
You have to play the game slightly to survive the week. You have to give them an inch of hope. But anyone with even a single ounce of social awareness could see she was absolutely not buying what Curtis was selling.
Thank goodness she wasn't, because one man crying over her in a single week is more than enough. We absolutely do not need Curtis crying and salsa dancing at the exact same time. The visual would break me.
Now, we need to transition to the B plot of the chalet, because while it's less loud, it is just as messy. We have to discuss Toby, Danny, and the baddies.
Oh my God, Toby. Babes, Toby is mentally exhausted. His ex came into the house, he is stressed out, his peace is disrupted. So what does he do to cope? He goes and literally sleeps in Danny's bed to try and smooth things over and bond.
Which, in a vacuum, in theory, is a nice bro gesture. It's saying, hey man, I know there's tension in the house, let's bond, let's reset our nervous systems, let's just be Nates.
In theory, if he had just gone to sleep, it would have been fine. But then they are laying there, and Toby loudly jokes that he wants 3 baddies to come and twerk in the villa.
The precise timing of this comment is a subject worthy of a doctoral thesis in sociology.
It is so deeply unserious. I think Toby is just fundamentally, at his core, an unserious human being. He just lets words fall out of his mouth without any brain-to-mouth filter.
See, I look at it analytically. I don't think it's just harmlessly unserious. Look at the context. Danny is currently in the active process of trying to get to know the women in the house.
Right.
He is trying to build genuine romantic connections. And Toby is laying right next to him in his bed, loudly declaring that he wants random, faceless baddies to show up and twerk.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is incredibly, deeply muggy behavior.
Muggy. That is the perfect British reality TV word for it. It is so muggy.
It disrespects the entire process Danny is trying to engage in.
Yeah.
Toby asking for baddies while Danny's trying to build a connection is like bringing a megaphone to a library. It completely obliterates the frequency Danny is trying to operate on.
And it disrespects the girls there.
It minimizes the worth of the women currently in the house, reducing them to background characters while he waits for baddies. And it shows a staggering lack of emotional intelligence on Toby's part. Even if it's meant as a joke, you have to read the room. Your friend is trying to be serious about his dating life, and you are asking for a music video setup in a freezing chalet.
He lacks the social antenna. He literally cannot read the room. He has no situational awareness. But speaking of a complete lack of situational awareness, we have to talk about Amy and Chase and the absolute devastating illusion of the chase.
This is perhaps the most frustrating, universally relatable storyline of the entire season so far. Every woman has been an Amy at some point.
It's painful to watch. Amy wants progression with Chase. She is giving him all her energy. She is initiating the deep conversations. She is making herself vulnerable. She is putting herself entirely out there on a silver platter.
And Chase, what is he giving?
He is giving absolutely nothing. He is giving absolute zero. He is a walking black hole of emotional reciprocity.
He is giving dead air, and this is where the lie comes in. The blatant, unadulterated, calculated lie.
Yes. Chase claims, directly to her face, looking in her eyes, that if someone new comes into the villa, he wouldn't jump ship. He tells her she is safe.
Absolute bullshit. Cap.
Yeah.
100% fabricated from thin air.
Total cap. We knew at the exact second the words left his lips. My alarm bells were ringing.
Anyone who has ever watched a single season of reality television or just existed in the modern dating pool for more than 5 consecutive minutes knows exactly what that statement is. It is a placeholder statement.
Yep.
It translates to, I am staying here with you right now because it's warm, it's safe, and I don't want to be alone. But the literal second the wind changes direction and someone better walks in, I am gone.
And the wind changed so incredibly fast, they didn't even make us wait. Because John, Rogan, and Chase go down to the beach for a boys' trip. The actual, literal, freezing, icy, rocky shoreline beach.
The winter wonderland beach. Again, the visual of these men standing by a frozen body of water in winter coats, waiting for a sexy ex to arrive, is absurd. It belongs in an art museum.
And who walks out of the freezing water in a wetsuit? Joanna, Chase's ex.
Now, we need to clarify the timeline on this ex status for the listeners because it is crucial context for his reaction.
Right, because this isn't some deep, profound, long-term girlfriend who he lived with for 5 years. This is a girl he hooked up with on a vacation trip to Mexico 4 years ago.
A brief vacation fling, half a decade ago. The emotional foundation here is incredibly shallow.
And yet, the reveal happens. Joanna walks up the icy beach, and Chase gets this massive, uncontrollable 1,000-watt grin on his face.
The grin said absolutely everything his lying words to Amy didn't.
I was screaming at the TV again. Men will always, always show you exactly how they feel. You just have to look at them. If a man truly likes you, he does the most. He smiles, his eyes light up, his posture changes. He acts like he just won the Mega Millions lottery.
The physical reaction is undeniable.
When he was sitting on the couch looking at Amy, his face was flat. It was blank. The lights were on, but nobody was home. The exact second Joanna appears from the icy depths, he is literally glowing from within.
It is the starkest, most painful contrast to witness. This is a lesson in evolutionary psychology and biological decoys. Chase's height and his nice smile are biological traps. They disarm Amy's intuition.
It's so unfair.
Women need to use their antennas and trust their gut, not a man's placating words. Amy desperately needs to read the room. She needs to stop putting all her emotional eggs in the Chase basket because the bottom of that basket has completely fallen out.
He does not like you like that, Amy. Please. I am begging you through the screen. Walk away with your dignity. Find someone who grins at you like Chase grins at a 4-year-old Mexico fling who just emerged from a frozen lake.
It's a harsh reality, but it's a necessary truth. The physical energy never lies. The words lie constantly. The grin doesn't.
Exactly. Oh, babes, my blood pressure is up. I'm too invested in Amy's well-being. I need another sip of cut water.
Take a long sip, because we're moving right into our segmented debates, and this requires some aggressive, unfiltered opinions.
Yes. Let's get into segment 1, Worst Ex Alert.
The criteria is simple. Who should have never been allowed to come back? We need to call it out right now.
I will start, and I am standing 10 toes down on this opinion. I will not be swayed. The absolute worst ex to come back, the person who should have never been allowed anywhere near that snowy chalet, is Curtis.
That is a fascinating choice. I disagree, but I want you to make your case. Defend your position.
Gladly. I am simply tired. The sheer volume of screen time this man commands across the network is too much. He is entirely ubiquitous in the reality TV universe right now. You flip the channel to a dating show, there's Curtis. You open a streaming app, there's Curtis.
He is booked and busy, you have to admit.
It ruins the immersion of the show for me. I don't feel like I'm watching Celebrity X on the beach and observing authentic human train wrecks. I feel like I'm watching The Curtis Show, Winter Edition. It breaks the illusion. And the dancing. As we discussed, it is a public hazard.
A literal hazard.
It is cringe-inducing. He brings an energy that completely derails whatever organic, messy drama is naturally happening in the house. We don't need a forced salsa routine when people are trying to organically cry over blatant disrespect. He is the worst ex because his presence is utterly exhausting and structurally ruins the flow of the game.
Okay, I hear your argument, and I validate your fatigue. It is a very fair, valid critique of network screen time fatigue and overexposure. However, I have to counter analytically. My nomination for Worst Ex is definitively, without a shadow of a doubt, Rogan.
Really? Worse than the dancing? I don't know. Explain.
Let's look at intent. Curtis might be incredibly annoying, he might be overexposed, and his dancing might cause genuine physical pain to the viewer's nervous system. But Curtis is ultimately harmless. Rogan, on the other hand, is actively, maliciously toxic.
That's a strong word.
He is the worst ex because he didn't come back to find love, to rekindle a flame with Izzy, or even to just have a good time and get a tan. He came back purely for a destructive ego trip.
Okay, that is true. He is deeply malicious with his actions. He wants to cause pain.
Exactly. He is treating the women, specifically Izzy, like a literal World Cup trophy to be won and displayed on his shelf. He doesn't value her as a complex human person. He values her solely as a metric of his own masculinity. He's only trying to win her over to spit in Freddy's face.
It's just a game to him.
That level of calculated manipulation and emotional disregard makes him not just an annoying television presence, but an actively harmful, destructive presence in the villa dynamics. He is ruining the peaceful European delusion of the chalet with his manosphere-like tactics and his weird, aggressive dominance games.
When you lay it out like that, you are so right. The unmitigated audacity of these men showing up to ruin our delusions. We are sitting here in our comfortable beige potato sweaters trying to enjoy the fake snow and the romance, and Rogan is out here turning the chalet into a psychological battlefield for his own amusement.
Curtis hurts my eyes. Rogan hurts the fabric of human decency. I think Rogan undeniably takes the crown for Worst Ex.
I am going to push back slightly. I still think Curtis ruins the structural integrity of the show, but I will concede that Rogan is the greater psychological threat. Which leads us perfectly into segment 2, hot or just toxic.
We need to be brutally honest with ourselves here. We get blinded by aesthetics. Are these men actually attractive, or are they just chaotic, and our lizard brains are confusing the adrenaline of drama with genuine chemistry?
let's discuss. Subject number 1, Rogan. Since we just dragged him through the mud, let's analyze his appeal. Is the bad boy who doesn't care vibe actually hot in practice, or is it purely a giant waving red flag?
I'll break this down very simply, stripping away the abs and the jawline. It is purely 100% a red flag. The I don't care attitude is not hot. It is a flimsy, paper-thin facade for deep, unhealed, festering insecurity. It is a performance put on for other men, not for women.
A terrible, unconvincing performance.
If he truly did not care, if he was truly this aloof alpha male, he wouldn't be on the television show. He is literally on international reality TV, begging producers for screen time, begging the audience for relevance, and then aggressively trying to mask that inherent desperation with a cool guy, untouchable persona.
Make it make sense.
The dissonance between his actions, like being on a dating show and actively competing with a man crying in a sweater, and his words like, I don't care, she'll get bored anyway, is glaring. There is nothing attractive about a grown man who lacks the basic emotional vocabulary to just admit he wants to be liked and chosen. It is profoundly toxic.
Thank you. Say it louder for the snark squad in the back. It is not hot to pretend you don't have feelings.
Okay, subject number 2. Chase. He is tall, he is objectively handsome, he has the grinning thing down,
But there is a massive caveat.
he is stringing Amy along. He is holding her emotional hostage while patiently waiting for his 4-year-old Mexico fling to emerge from the freezing water like a glacier siren. A glacier siren. I love that. A siren to the icy depths.
It is exactly what she is. She lured him right back. But seriously, Chase, hot or toxic? I have made my final decision. I don't care how tall he is 100% toxic.
This is where we talk about those biological traps again. The height, the broad shoulders, the warm smile, they are evolutionary decoys designed by nature to distract you from the complete lack of emotional accountability.
Yes, evolutionary decoys.
Yeah.
He uses that warm grin to disarm people's defenses. He looks at Amy and says exactly what the girl in front of him wants to hear in that moment, knowing full well in his dark heart that he is lying to her face to keep his bed warm. That is manipulation.
It absolutely is.
It is passive, quiet, cowardly manipulation, which is almost worse than Rogan's loud, aggressive manipulation because it's harder to spot until it's too late.
I completely agree. It's the toxicity of omission. He purposefully omits his true feelings to comfortably keep all his options open. Definitely toxic. The height does not save him. Now, subject number 3, Freddy.
Oh, sweet sweater-wearing Freddy.
We debated this earlier, but let's formalize it. Is wearing your heart on your sleeve to the point of crying on day 2 hot?
Babes, I am gonna swoon. I have to say it, and I don't care who judges me. I think it is incredibly hot.
Defend this position because I am highly skeptical.
It's the emotional vulnerability. It is so incredibly rare to see a man on these hyper-produced, hyper-masculine shows just admit, hey, I really like you, and what you just did deeply hurt my feelings. He didn't puff at his chest. He didn't yell at her. He didn't punch a hole in the drywall of the chalet. He just sat there and actually felt his feelings.
That is true. He didn't get aggressive.
In a sea of Rogans and Chases playing these stupid, exhausting mind games, a guy who just tells the unfiltered truth about his heart is incredibly attractive. It shows he is secure in his masculinity to cry on TV.
I will play devil's advocate here because I think you are romanticizing codependency. I agree that honesty is attractive in theory. However, is crying over a stranger on day 2 a different kind of chaotic?
You know, it shows his heart is open. He is a pure romantic.
Or it shows a massive lack of emotional regulation and a desperate need for external validation. If you are shedding actual saline tears over someone you just met 48 hours ago, you might not be in a stable enough psychological place to be dating on national television.
You're being too logical about this.
It shows a rapid, intense, anxious attachment style that can quickly become suffocating and overwhelming for a partner. I'm not saying he's actively toxic and malicious like Rogan, but I am saying that displaying that much intensity that fast is definitely a red flag of a different, more pastel shade.
You are being so incredibly cynical. The chalet makes you crazy. We already established this. He is just a lover boy who got caught in a snowstorm of emotions.
A lover boy who is one minor rejection away from a total nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
We will have to agree to disagree on Freddy's overall temperature.
Fine. I will defend him in the group chat later. Let's move to segment 3, most embarrassing moment.
You felt it in your bones. We felt it in our living rooms. We need to relive the cringe.
I am already physically cringing. My shoulders are tensing up just thinking about it.
We have to officially nominate the moment.
It has to be the boat party dance request. It has to be. There's no scene that made me want to crawl out of my own skin more.
There is truly no other option that comes close.
Babes, I had to look away from the screen. My shoulders were literally up to my ears. Curtis, standing on that boat, someone asks him to dance. And the way he just accepts, without hesitation, like it's his solemn duty to the nation to provide rhythm.
Let's analyze why it is so acutely painful to watch. Because it's not just that he is a bad dancer. He's actually a trained dancer, technically, which somehow makes it worse. It's the context.
It's the forced contest.
It's the forced contractual performance of it. It feels like an inescapable reality TV trope that the producers refuse to let die. Every time he is on screen, production clearly pushes this dancing guy narrative, and it feels so incredibly inorganic. It feels like a hostage situation.
It's like watching a dancing bear at a vintage circus. It's depressing. You just want to set him free so he never has to salsa again.
Exactly. And it completely ruined the natural, terrifying vibe of the Tablet of Terror party.
Yeah.
The tablet is supposed to be the focal point of the anxiety. You are supposed to be terrified of who is coming out of the water. But instead, the collective anxiety shifted from who is arriving to ruin my life to, oh dear God, is he going to do a cha-cha slide on a wet deck?
It sucked all the dramatic air out of the room. It was painfully embarrassing for everyone involved, cast and viewers alike.
The runner-up for embarrassment, though, has to be Rogan.
Oh, without a doubt. A close second.
Rogan getting completely, definitively, undeniably rejected by Izzy, having his entire mastermind plan fail in real time on camera.
And then having to just stand there in the corner of the room looking incredibly salty and flush while Freddy, who barely did anything but be nice, wear a sweater, and cry, wins the girl.
It is the ultimate embarrassing moment for the fragile male ego. He came in so hot, he bragged to the boys, he strutted around the chalet, he belittled Freddy's masculinity, and he ended up standing alone, muttering to himself about how she'll get bored.
The poetic justice of the situation is hilarious, but deeply, deeply embarrassing to witness as a bystander.
Absolute karma. We love to see the universe self-correct. Which brings us to our final segment of the evening. Segment 4. Would you go on this show?
Be completely real with me right now. Are we voluntarily entering the villa, or are we protecting our peace at home? Let's debate.
Okay, I am going to be completely delusional right now, but I am going to be honest. I would go,
What? You are clinically insane.
hear me out. Let me paint the picture. It is a free, all-expenses-paid winter chalet vacation in Europe. Have you seen the exorbitant cost of a ski trip these days? The lift tickets alone. Plus, the outfits.
Okay, the outfits would be cute.
I could wear my little faux fur snow bunny coats. I could wear my fuzzy boots. I could drink free champagne by a roaring fireplace. I am completely delusional about my ability to handle the interpersonal drama, but I feel like I could just float above it all like a glamorous ghost.
You would not float above it. You do not have the constitution to float above it. You would be crying in the communal hot tub by day 3 because someone looked at your fuzzy boots wrong.
I would be giving the confessional cameras absolute gold, babes. I would be the main character of the season. I would narrate the downfall of everyone around me.
I am shutting this down immediately. Absolutely not. The idea of the tablet of terror dictating my Tuesday schedule, having my central nervous system hacked and manipulated by a piece of waterproof technology on a stick, no. Absolutely not.
You would definitely hate the tablet. You hate unprompted text messages, let alone a terror tablet.
I would physically smash the tablet into the snow. And having to share a confined living space with men like Rogan, men who confidently think they know what I like better than my own brain does, I would catch an assault charge, I would be removed by security.
I'd be in handcuffs.
And the absolute worst part, watching an ex from 4 years ago walk out of a freezing lake while I try to enjoy a cocktail. Imagine the horrible smell of wet neoprene wetsuit mixed with unresolved emotional trauma walking towards you on a snowy beach. I am protecting my peace at all costs. My peace is locked in a titanium vault, and reality TV producers do not have the combination.
Okay. What if we compromised? What if we agreed to go on, but we demanded very specific, ironclad contract clauses from the network?
Like what could possibly make that environment bearable?
Like we could bring our own unlimited supply of cut water. We get our own locked mini fridge of cut water in our bedroom, and we don't have to participate in the physical dates or the icebreaker game.
We just sit in the corner of the chalet, wrapped in our beige Geppetto sweaters, judging everyone else and providing real-time snarky commentary to the cameras.
So we would essentially be doing exactly what we do right now, but physically located inside the house.
Right.
Like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets, just viciously heckling the youth from the balcony.
Exactly. The Snark side, live from the chalet balcony. It would be a hit.
Under those very specific, highly legal binding conditions, with a premium iced coffee machine installed in my room, I would consider it. But only if I have it in writing that I do not ever have to talk to Curtis or watch him dance.
Deal. No Curtis dancing within a 50-foot radius of our balcony.
Okay, babes, we have unpacked a massive amount of psychological baggage tonight.
So much. My brain is buzzing. The European delusion is still going incredibly strong, though. I am still firmly convinced the snowy chalet is my spiritual European villa, despite the sub-zero temperatures.
I will let you have your potato-based logic and let the official record show the Pilates streak is still alive. 3 weeks strong. We are manifesting that consistency into the summer.
We are. Even if my abs are currently crying out for medical intervention, we are pushing through.
And we remain hyper-vigilant regarding the Craigslist chaos. Do not buy a black market velvet couch, Snark Squad. Just go to IKEA. It's not worth the haunting. Protect yourselves and your homes.
Validate your beige potato energy. Live your absolute truth. But before we let you go back to your Tuesday evenings, we have some vital questions for you, Snark Squad. We need to know where you stand.
We need detailed answers in the comments. We are conducting a poll.
Would you ever go on X on the beach? Are you brave enough or delusional enough for the chalet?
And seriously, who is still using Craigslist? If it is you, if you are the one person keeping that site alive, please explain yourself. We need to understand the psychology behind that choice.
And babes, be honest with us. Hold us accountable. Are we actually going to keep up this Pilates journey or no? Are we completely delusional? Let us know.
But I want to leave you with one final, slightly more provocative thought to carry with you this week. Based on everything we analyzed tonight, everything of Freddy crying, Rogan manipulating, Chase lying, and the concept of old school love.
Ooh, yes. Let that marinate.
Does modern reality TV absolutely destroy the concept of old school love? Think about it critically. If a guy acts like Freddy, if he is genuinely nice, if he openly shows his emotions, if he tells the truth about his feelings, he is treated by the cast and the audience like a complete anomaly. He is treated like an alien species that just crash landed.
It's so true.
Have these shows completely rewired our brains to expect toxic, manipulative behavior as the default setting? Are we so deeply used to the Rogans and the Chases of the world that a normal, caring human reaction feels like a crazy twist ending? Let that marinate in your mind.
Oh, that is deep. That is so painfully real. Are we actively romanticizing toxicity just because of the formatting of these shows?
Wow. Snark Squad, talk about that in the group chat immediately.
Unpack that with your friends.
And while you're unpacking your trauma in the group chat, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe.
Send us your Craigslist stories and your show submissions. Send this chat directly to that one friend who you know is hovering over their phone about to text their toxic ex back. Stop them, save them with this deep psychological analysis into chalet chaos.
Thank you, Snark Squad, as always, for joining us in the mess. We love you.
Stay shady.
Stay iconic.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.